of Uncle Abdalazim, an Egyptian farmer who lives in a small village. He wakes up every morning before sunrise and immediately goes to check on his crops. He has a large farm with wheat, tomatoes, cucumbers, watermelon, you name it, and he treats them all like his own children. He talks to them, jokes with them, and even sings to them. His tractor is his best friend. He calls it my companion. It's old but reliable and gets the job done. Every day he takes it out into the fields and works it like a horse. One day a storm comes and destroys most of his crops. He's devastated, but then he remembers what his grandfather told him. He takes a deep breath, calms down, and starts to fix the fences. A few days later, his grandson finds him in the field and asks him why he's so happy. He tells his grandson that he's happy because he's a farmer and this is his life. His grandson wants to learn more, so he teaches him everything he knows about farming. And Abdalazim had the biggest water pump in the village. Everyone knew that the water from this pump was the cleanest and freshest in the area. And Abdalazim was famous for using it to make the most delicious cup of tea anyone had ever tasted. Every day, children from the village would come running with big containers sent by their families to collect water from Uncle Abdalazim's pump. He would welcome them all with a big smile and never turned anyone away who needed water. For him, water was a blessing to be shared, not hoarded. And so the children would play around the pump, laughing and splashing each other with water. The air would be filled with the scent of fresh tea as Uncle Abdalazim brewed another pot to share with everyone. The villagers respected Uncle Abdalazim for his generosity and kindness. They knew that in a world where water was scarce, he had chosen to share his wealth with those who needed it most, and they loved him for it. Uncle Abdalazim was the most humble man you'd ever meet. He had a giant manual water pump in his village that provided clean water for everyone. But the handle was so heavy that sometimes the children struggled to pump it. So Uncle Abdalazim would always come to help them. One day the pump broke down. Instead of getting angry or frustrated, he just smiled and fixed it himself because he knew how important the water was for everyone in the village. Before going on a short trip away from the village, Uncle Abdalazim called his neighbor and asked him to take care of the pump while he was gone. "Please don't stop anyone from using the pump," he said, "and if it breaks, promise me you'll fix it right away. This water belongs to everyone." And so the villagers took Uncle Abdalazim's words to heart. They all pitched in to help repair the pump, and they were so grateful for the water that he had provided for them. Even today, the villagers remember Uncle Abdalazim and his generosity. They tell stories about him and his kindness, and they try to live by his example. Uncle Abdalazim returned to his village after being away for a week. He was a kind and generous man who had a strong connection to his village and its people. As soon as he arrived, he headed to the village water pump, which he had built and shared freely with everyone. But he was shocked to see that it wasn't working. He asked his neighbor why it had been broken for so long, and the neighbor replied, "We tried to fix it, but we couldn't." So Uncle Abdalazim rolled up his sleeves and started to work on it himself. But this time the problem was too difficult and he needed help. So he called a local plumber. The plumber examined the pump and said, "We'll need to remove the entire pump and dig a new hole to reinstall it." Everyone in the village was watching, concerned and hopeful. The whole village depended on this pump and they were worried that it might be beyond repair. But Uncle Abdalazim was determined to fix it. He knew that it was more than just a pump. It was a lifeline for the village, and he wasn't going to let them down. For 3 days, the villagers had been working on fixing the water pump. It was a huge undertaking, but finally, just as the sun began its descent, the old plumber and Uncle Abdalazim, a humble Egyptian farmer, managed to get it working again. As the water started flowing, a group of children gathered around, each holding an empty container. One small boy stepped forward. He looked up at the pump and shouted with all his might, "Come on, pump, pour the water." On a quiet village morning, Uncle Abdalazim was seen walking slowly away from the water pump. He was waving his cane and saying with a voice full of wisdom, "A clean heart gives clean water." Every morning, the villagers would gather around the water pump to collect water for their homes. The water pump was in the center of the village and it was known for producing the cleanest water that made the finest tea in the village. But it wasn't just a machine. It was a symbol of the purity of heart and the spirit of sharing that existed among the people. One day, a young boy asked Uncle Abdalazim, "Why do we have to be so pure of heart? What does that even mean?" To which Uncle Abdalazim replied, "A clean heart gives clean water. If your heart is filled with goodness, then the water you receive will be pure and clean, just like the water from the pump." The boy looked at the ground, ashamed that he hadn't thought of this before. He collected the water and ran home to make tea for his family. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.